Lesson plan on simple past. Students between the ages 16 and 60. The topic for this lesson plan is simple past. The students are from the ages 16 and beyond. The main aim is for students to be able to identify and write sentences in simple past. The specific objectives are: learn grammatical rules about simple past, pronounce correctly the different types of verbs in simple past, use simple past sentences in real life context, understand a conversation in simple past. First, to start the class, the teacher has to introduce the topic to the students, and this is done with a warm-up. And the warm-up for this lesson is for the teacher to ask the students a few questions in simple past in order to get them into the topic. Some students who have previous knowledge will be able to answer, and others will have to ask again. The teacher will continue asking at random until 7 or 9 students, depending on the number of the students in the class, have answered. The questions could be: what did you eat for breakfast today? When did you play soccer? Where did you go on your last vacation? These questions should be designed by the teacher, and the warm-up should last only about 15 minutes. After the warm-up, the teacher will start with the presentation, asking the students if they noticed the tense of the verbs that were used in the questions. If their answer is yes, she will continue with the explanation, and if they say they didn't, she will tell them about the tense and then continue explaining the topic by teaching the students that in English there are regular and irregular verbs. For that reason, they have different forms to be conjugated in the past tense. The teacher has to tell them that in the past, all the verbs are conjugated the same with all pronouns. There is no third person in the past, so the same form of past tense is for all pronouns. After that, the teacher will also teach them about the correct pronunciation in the past, teaching them the 3 different ways to pronounce the different verbs. After that, the teacher will give the students a list of regular and irregular verbs, and they will write down the correct pronunciation after the teacher pronounces each verb. As you can see, there is a picture of the list of verbs that can be used, and the link for the website where they could get that list. After that, for practice, the teacher will hand out a worksheet in which the students have to fill in the blanks with the correct form of the verb, and they have to choose the correct answer from a multiple choice exercise. The worksheet could be downloaded from the link, or the teacher could design the questions or the exercises depending on how much the students know and their level of English. For the production part, the students have to create a short story made up of 8 sentences in simple past. When they finish, they need to tear each sentence in order to get 8 strips with a sentence of the story. The teacher will exchange stories within the groups, and they all should have different stories for the activity. The idea is that each group organize the strips of paper in the correct order and act out the story in front of the class. They have to be careful with the pronunciation and if they organize the story correctly to, to get a point. This activity should take them about 30 minutes or maybe a few minutes more if there are many students in the class. For the assessment, the teacher will ask the students to make a round circle with the chairs, and they have to think of any question they want to ask a classmate in the past. The other classmate has to answer using the correct information. The teacher will assess the student depending on the question and on the answer given. This activity should also take 30 minutes. For the assignment, the students have to write a short paragraph about a special event that happened in their life. They have to use at least 8 verbs in the past and organize the sentences correctly. Finally, for the consolidation of this activity, the teacher will play an audio of a conversation in simple past. And the idea is that the students answer 5 questions correctly depending on what they heard on the audio. As you can see here in the lesson plan are the 5 questions, and these are true or false questions. The audio can be found in the link provided, or the teacher could also download the video if there is no internet access in the class. And this is the final activity for this lesson plan about simple past.